angle.
All right, let's do it.
Modern Christian Dads, Season 2. We're about to explode. Just dudes talking news, sports, and God.
What's up, guys? Welcome into the Modern Christian Dads podcast. My name is Jeremiah Johnson. We're here with the guys today, ready to dive into it. Man, I'm struggling with the intro a little bit here because it feels like so long since we've done the Modern Christian Dads podcast. Has it only been a week?
Week and a day.
Oh man, it feels longer than that. I think it's because Kelly Stevens is gone. But let's welcome.
Yeah, you haven't been here in a while.
Yeah, well.
We got to welcome him.
Let's welcome him. Don't talk yet.
Yeah.
Hold on there, Kelly Stevens.
Go ahead.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Kelly Stevens.
Hello, everyone.
That's more like it.
Yeah.
I think Kelly Stevens was gone last week because he had to get his hair done. You had a hair appointment.
I had not had a haircut in 2 months. 2 months, my friend.
Wow.
It was bad.
Oh man. And you got a perm. You're looking more like Carmen than ever. You're on live. You're on Facebook Live now, so that's why Kelly had to get
How's the hair look?
Manny Petty.
So what was it? Was it a beauty shop, like a barber, or what's gives your experience?
You're gonna do me like that, are you? I went to. I'll just give a shout out to the Uppercut. Hi, Uppercut gang. How are you?
You got the Uppercut. There you go. Nice and man.
Yeah.
You should have took the MCD championship belt and walked in there with it.
I should have, yeah, but they might have kicked me out. But, Uppercut opened up, and I went in and see my old friends. And
wow.
Nice. Did you have to wear a mask?
No, they wore a mask, I believe.
You're probably used to wearing masks around here. Right?
Yeah. The only time I go in there.
Kelly's here. Oh, everybody suit up.
They actually would prefer me to wear a hood.
And we do now. We are on Facebook Live, so we got a couple of people dialing in. We have Ronnie and Teresa Wendleton. They're dialing in.
Hey, Ronnie,
guys.
how are you, buddy?
Tom Barlow dialing in.
Oh, Dr. Barlow.
Hello,
welcome.
He said he's indicating that hair seems to be overrated by his hair schmear comment. So.
Yes.
Well, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
Dr. Barlow, you're probably a fan here.
That's right.
Well, he's a fan of one guy, the Big Kel.
Oh,
Yeah,
Big
that's-
Kill.
Okay, way too long of an intro for Kelly Stevens.
Oh, no.
Craig
All right.
Crayway.
Hello,
He's here today.
everybody.
Craig Crayway.
Seriously?
It's nice to be here today.
And
Seriously?
myself, Jeremiah Johnson.
Oh, yeah. Here. There's yours.
All right. So thank you for listening to the Modern Christian Dads podcast. We exist to bring you daily. No, that's a different one. Excuse me. Man, I'm confused right now.
What are we doing here
I have
anyway?
multiple podcasts to encourage and entertain. We're dudes talking news, sports, and God. So thank you to all of us. We're getting ready to go over the 3K play mark. Super excited about that. I wanted to, if I can get it in there. Oh, I wanted to.
That's because he has me listen to him over and over and over
Yes.
again. He's just like, keep playing it. So.
I wanted to give a shout out to all of our listeners in different countries.
Oh, yeah, you got it broken down there.
Where's that at? Oh. I need to get it.
I wonder if we have anybody
Let's
from
bounce back
Canada.
Okay, so here's the people that have listened at least one time to MCD Nation, hashtag MCD Nation, Modern Christian Dads. Okay, United States, Brazil, our second most listened to country now.
Nice. Thank you,
Canada. Portugal.
Oh, Canada.
Belgium, Germany, Australia, United Kingdom, France, Spain,
Please say Poland. Is there any
Slovenia, South Korea, China, Hong Kong, Iceland, Netherlands. Wow. Djibouti, as always, we'll love the Djibouti.
Yes.
India,
And
Italy, Iceland,
Wow.
Netherlands, Hong Kong. Did I say
thanks,
that?
guys.
Slovenia,
Hong Kong.
Spain, all over the world. MCD Nation
Isn't
is
that
going around the
exciting?
world. So there we go.
You know, I would love to hear from some of these people.
I would too.
How can they contact us?
They can go to modernchristiandads@gmail.com or
Yes.
give us the comments below or go to our Facebook page, which we are live on right now. So there we go.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
So how are you guys doing?
Good. Man, I'm
Doing great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
great.
Okay, so we have been in the midst of COVID-19 here, and so we're trying to weave our way through. But everything we would normally talk about revolves around that issue.
Yes.
So I'm in the fight game, the pro wrestling game. That's probably my specialty in the show, right?
Yeah,
Or one of
the
mine.
fight game,
So
yes.
UFC 249 took place this last weekend, and that was the first major sporting event. UFC would be considered major now. So they had their first big event, no live audience, but they had roughly 400 people at the event, that being reporters, cornermen, fighters, media, etc. They did have, of the 400, they had 4 people test positive for COVID-19. One of them was a fighter. He was then pulled from the card, but the card went on as follows.
Oh, wow.
So it was kind of interesting that they did that. They took a lot of heat. Dana White's a big Donald Trump guy, and their buddy. And so he was, they were pushing forward. They wanted to do it prior to this, but got some pushback. And so anyway, the fight card was I catch the highlights. I didn't pay for the, what am I looking for? I didn't pay for the pay-per-view on that one. But anyway, was a decent fight game. It was Tony Ferguson and Justin Gaethje. That was the main fight. Ferguson lost. He was supposed to fight Habib for the unified title, and then maybe possibly Conor McGregor fighting them. But he lost. He was kind of the favorite to win, if you will. Gaethje wins. But the big news out of that was they were supposed to fight a month earlier, Tony and Habib. That fight got canceled. Tony Ferguson cut weight for that, and then he had to recut weight a month later. So they were saying that might be by the bad performance. Yeah. The other big fight was Henry Cejudo and Dominic Cruz. Have you guys heard of these guys? These are smaller guys. The bantamweight title. Henry Cejudo, who's an Olympic champion, he won that fight, beat Dominic Cruz, who's considered the greatest bantamweight title fighter of all time. He's been out for 4 years. It was an okay fight. Again, live
Wasn't
sports.
a lot of fast action. I mean, generally with those guys, it's fast.
Yeah, it was good. Those guys are fast. Overall, it's just that live sports is going to be very interesting in the coming months, because to do it without a live audience is just, whether it's pro wrestling, whether it's fighting, it'll be interesting how they're going to pull all that off.
Was there any knockouts, or did all the fights go to the full time?
Oh no, they Gaethje, that was a knockout, that was a KO TKO, and that fight, KO, TKO. Henry Cejudo won on that one. Francis Ngannou, he had a TKO. So lots of TKOs in that fight. So we did have some decisions, but in the main card, 4 of the 5 main card fights were KOs or TKOs. The other big item of note was Anthony Pettis and Donald Cowboy Cerrone, who just got beat by McGregor, loses again to Anthony Showtime Pettis. So he's on a 4-fight losing streak, and I think it might be time to hang up the cowboy boots.
I think so.
Hat, etc. Whatever.
You know, one of the things I've noticed that's gaining popularity, these backyard UFC type fights that are kind of put on. I mean, there's no sanction or anything there. These are just like groups of people that are.
We actually had a backyard sanctioned fight between me and Rick Maynard in our backyard.
Is that why he's not here?
Yeah. It was obviously I won.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Did he even show up?
He did not show up. Okay. He sent his wife out.
Okay. Oh, I see. I was going to ask if he knew about it.
Well, that was the one now deceased Kimbo Slice. Do you remember Kimbo Slice? He was a backyard legend. Came into the UFC. He's dead now, but anyway, that was his claim to fame. Backyard fighting. As is, who's the other guy that won the BMF belt? Which we will not say that word on, but the UFC, he fought one of the Diaz brothers, Nate Diaz. He recently beat him, and he was a backyard fighter. So,
and he died.
No, he backyard fighter.
I was hung on somebody dying. But, okay.
Well, I found out something interesting the other day, and I didn't know this. Being a wrestling fan, I didn't know or realize that China, the female wrestler, passed away a couple of years ago.
Oh,
yes,
I did not know that. Did you know that?
I did know that.
From was it a drug overdose or something?
That's what they think. Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. So, anything else from the UFC?
That's what I got going on. And before I came here to the show, I was watching a little ESPN at the gym, working out, and I noticed that they are really pushing to start the NBA season again, but trying to come to grips with that. How is that going to look like? Their big hang up right now is that they have the ability. So here's what's kind of funky now is someone like the NBA can purchase or buy COVID-19 tests, but they don't want that to look bad on their image. That's the struggle right now. So they're saying, well, we could afford to buy these tests and put on the NBA season or playoffs or however that's going to look, but then they're worried about residual feedback, negative feedback, and then how that would look, their perception, etc. So it's a game. It's a game, and it's a game coming to that right now. So anyway, I do think that the NBA will finish its season somehow, but we talked about the bubble last week. You weren't here when we talked about the bubble. They wanted to create like a bubble for like 3 months at Disneyland or Las Vegas, or find one location where they would all go to and spend 3 months there, finish the season, playoffs, etc. So just craziness.
It is. I say open it up.
I was just going to say that.
That may be
throw the doors open,
not
man.
Politically correct, but I say let's
do it.
Bite the bullet and get in it.
Yep, I think so.
So and everything, again, everything from economy, sports, all revolving around that. So what are we going to do? I don't know.
Who knows?
What else you guys following?
All right, I got an interesting story from Mr. Kelly Stevens.
Right.
This is out of Tennessee. This is from the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency. Okay, this is for a 9-year-old. Coy Price was fishing with his family on Old Hickory Lake when he reeled in a sturgeon that weighed in at a whopping 79.8 pounds.
Good for him.
The agency said the boy's catch dwarfed a 39.8-pound striper landed by his sister Caitlin and a 58-pound blue catfish reeled in by his other sister, Farah.
Wow.
The agency said Price released the big sturgeon back into the lake. Officials said lake sturgeon can live for an estimated 150 years and have been known to grow up to 8 feet long.
Yes. Isn't that incredible?
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, are they aggressive? I've heard that they will
not toward
people, not towards you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, I had always had the impression that they were. So.
They are aggressive to other fish.
Now, I know. When I was fished as a youngster with my dad, he always told me to be careful around pike.
Yep.
Because northern pike, because they would bite, and like when we catch one and bring it in, and you had to be careful with it in the boat. Because
right.
I actually saw this is terrible. This is not a good thing. I saw a video of a pike that was stalking a kitten. The kitten was on a pier.
Yeah.
And the pike jumped up and got that kitten.
Really?
Yes, he did.
Wow.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Good job.
Yep. Mama,
praise God for the pike on that one.
Yeah, mama got to eat.
Yeah, I just thought, wow, that is really something. They're aggressive fish.
So I can just see both of you, and you're probably thinking, Kelly, what is the biggest fish you ever caught? Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Right.
Here's a fisherman's story.
Big enough.
Yeah, actually, I've not really ever caught a big fish. The largest fish I ever actually caught is probably a 15-pound carp, something like that.
Really?
That'd be the biggest. Bass family, it's about a 7-pound.
Okay.
So, but I've never caught big fish. I generally go in for the quantity. I'm just wanting a bunch of fish. So I just perch counts to me.
Yeah, I remember my dad. My dad was my dad that caught. It was like a 3.5-4 pound bluegill, and he actually took it to a bait and tackle place that had a large aquarium, natural.
I would think that would be like a record.
It was really close to a record. Yeah, we caught it at a place called Potato Creek State Park in northern Indiana.
And potatoes.
We just took it over the border into Michigan, and there was a place up there called Lunkers. It was like a Bass Pro Shop.
Right.
They had the aquarium in there,
right.
and he showed them the fish. They're like, yeah, we'll take it. So they put it in the tank with all the other ones. It was huge.
Yeah,
it really was. Big orange belly and everything.
Yeah.
It was big.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
It was cool.
I did buy a new mountain bike the last couple weeks.
Yes,
so
you
I'm
did.
proud owner of a new mountain bike. That was awesome.
And then you took out a pastor. I think it was a competition
took him out, literally.
thing. Yeah, it was kind of a competition deal, and you took him out and just kind of made sure that he was gone.
Yeah. Shout out to Pastor David.
Yeah, I hope you're doing well, bro.
Broke a couple ribs.
Yeah, I saw his post. He did.
And it was really funny because
Clean break.
on that one is we were ripping down, and I'm more of a what would be termed a cross country mountain biker. Okay,
Yes.
so that means I don't do exclusive downhills because I have a hardtail, not a full suspension. So anyway, cross country, you're going up and down or a little bit longer distances as opposed to just downhill short kind of stuff.
Different terrains
that's
and
what I
all that
prefer.
kind of
So anyway, we're ripping down big berms, and I was learning my bike, and we're only a mile or two in, so I'm not going to go get after too crazy.
Right.
And he was pressing me a little bit. And I pulled over and said, hey, just go for it, man. I'm not quite ready to really attack it quite yet. And literally after that berm, 5 seconds later, he takes a ramp and just eats it hard. And so I saw it coming.
Yeah. Did you laugh?
I didn't at first because I saw it. So I'm like, he had to have got hurt. Yeah, if I wouldn't have saw it, I would have laughed at him. But because I saw him land, yeah.
Well,
that's.
I mean,
and were you like a mile into the trail and he had to walk out, or how?
Yeah, we had to kind of walk up the hill. And,
my goodness!
And it was right along. If you're in downtown Bentonville, there's a cement path that's going right along this little streak that we're going through, and so a bunch of people saw him too. So it was a combination of a couple broken ribs and the embarrassment of like 20 people standing around him.
Goodness.
Oh my goodness, this guy. So I'm showing this right now. If you're watching live on Facebook Live, this is now on the screen. Those of you watching, you can see my brand new mountain bike Specialized.
That's before it got dirty and. Right.
Yeah. So
they're never the same when you. Yeah. There's maybe some people that don't know that I am a very, 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 very conservative mountain biker. I wouldn't even call myself a mountain biker. I pedal a bike in the woods. And a couple of weeks ago, my son and I went to Arkansas, and he's like, "Dad, you know what I noticed about you? You're really safe. You ride really, really safe." I'm like, "Yes, I do, because when you fall and hit stuff, it hurts."
Yeah.
And so I thought, okay, I'm going to step it up just a little bit. So we're going through a nice downhill, and we're starting to pick up some speed. Well, all of a sudden, this bumblebee hits me in the arm, and I look down to like brush it off. Well, when I look down, I turn towards a tree. And I thought, I'm heading for a tree. And I turned the other way, and I turned really sharp, and my handlebars kind of buckled, and I went over, and like my face planted right down in the ground and tore up my knees pretty good. So
yeah,
that never.
That's why I ride
fly fishing.
That's called a good old Arkansas sandwich that you had there. Arkansas mud sandwich.
Yeah. Well, last week when we went out, I got a flat tire, so I was like 2 miles in the woods, so I'm pushing my bike back now. So, yeah.
Done that before, several occasions.
So, anyway, I got one more funny story for you guys.
Okay.
All right. The Cincinnati Metropolitan Sewer District said a family called the agency's 24-hour hotline to report their pet guinea pig, Snowball, had dashed into a sewer and wasn't coming out on his own. Sewer district workers Jeff Green and Reggie Gray responded to the neighborhood, and Green was lowered into a manhole to look for Snowball. The pet was spotted in a narrow sewer pipe that leads out to the street. The workers used a basketball that was slightly smaller than the pipe to nudge Snowball until Green could reach the animal with his hands. The sewer district said Snowball was not injured but needs a bath after being returned to his owners.
No, Snowball.
That's a good story.
Yeah. Oh, man. I don't know. Did your kids ever have any guinea pigs or hamsters or anything growing up?
No, we never had that.
Got any rodents as pets?
We actually, I did one time. We had a beagle puppy that I bought for my kids, and we had a place for it that we kept it out in the garage, until he kind of grew up a little bit, and it got really cold, and he spilt his milk that I had set for him. It got wet.
Okay.
Well, the next morning when I went out there to check him, it was like hitting this table right here. He was as hard as rock. But good story. I bring him in, I get a hairdryer, and I slowly warm him up and save his life.
Are you serious?
All true,
job,
brother.
Wow.
All true. I'm a hero.
Hey, I saved a mouse's life last week here at the church.
What?
I did. We had a glue trap. And the mouse was stuck in the glue trap. Poor guy was like, he was stuck, man. He was like chewing his leg off and everything stuck. So I thought, I am going to be really nice to this guy because, he wasn't dead.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'm going to have to take him out if I can. So I went on YouTube, my go-to, and if you take like olive oil or vegetable oil or something and pour it on the mouse, on the glue trap, it actually frees it up. It releases that glue.
Where did you release him to?
In
Pastor Rachel's office?
Somewhere. Yeah.
Justin,
Do not tell her that story.
I'm not telling. Well, here's my funny guinea pig story. So my son...
That's not a puppet, Pastor Justin.
That's right. Yeah, you don't want to mess with that. My son had a guinea pig, and his name was Lightning, and he was a great guinea pig, and I happened to be out of town in Reno, Nevada, for work when the guinea pig died. Okay. So my wife calls me and tells me the whole story. Lightning passed away, and we buried him out in the yard. And I said, okay, I guess that's what you should do. Well, 10 minutes later, the phone rings again. The dog dug the guinea pig up out of the yard. Then I said, okay, how deep did you bury him? Well, just underneath, below the surface. So I was like, no, you're going to have to go a little deeper than that.
Yes.
So she buried him again, and he dug him up again. So by this time, I finally made it back home from work and everything. I had to bury him outside the backyard, somewhere else, 3 feet deep. So, so we had to bury him 3 times.
Dr. Barlow says Bath Time for Snowball could be a kid's book. So
Yeah, there you go.
he's paying attention. Good job.
Yes,
Shout out
he
to
is.
Dr. Barlow.
Yeah, Snowball turned into a dirt ball. So, real quick there. So, all right, guys, you want to move on to our spiritual talk after we hear from our sponsor?
Let's do it.
Let's
Yes.
do it.
Hi, my name is Jeremiah Johnson. I am the host of Grace Point Daily and the Modern Christian Dads podcast. But most importantly, I have the coolest job of being the lead pastor of Grace Point Assembly in Carthage, Missouri. Our church is about helping people discover a relationship with Christ and your purpose in Him, connecting other followers of Christ together in relationship and living out the mission of God. Why don't you join us for a service next time you're in this area? For more information, service times, and our address, go to gracepointag.org. We hope to see you soon. All right. Thank you always for dialing in, guys. Modern Christian Dads podcast, hashtag MCD. Go check out all of our previous podcasts. You can check out our Facebook page, modernchristiandads@gmail.com. Different ways that you can connect with us. Someday you can meet us in person and touch the Modern Christian Dads podcast championship belt if you'd like to.
Yes.
Very amazing. We're still waiting for the next challenge. Anyway, let's talk about this, guys. We had last week, we went back to church in our local church, Grace Point. We went back to church. It was Mother's Day.
Great.
At Grace Point. And so we had Pastor Rachel preaching. I'm putting a picture of her up on the screen right now. So
And she did a great job.
yeah. Amazing. Yep.
So I thought I was alone on that one.
Crickets. No, it was great. It was a great time being with everybody again.
Yeah. Well, give me your guys' first thoughts on that as we gather back in a hand clap for Pastor Rachel there.
Yes,
Nice.
yes.
Nice
Yeah.
effect.
I will say that it was a much anticipated event, and it was good to see everybody. It's kind of like family all coming back to see each other, and man, there's just something about corporate worship, being together and being in the presence of God, and just laying your heart out there. I missed that deeply.
Yeah. Well, and actually, I'll talk about this. Yesterday, when we met with the pastors, kind of our subject for the day, or our devotion that we talked about was love. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that while we were praying, the Lord just kind of showed me, it's like, okay, see what the world is doing now through this COVID virus. It's like we have to act like we don't love one another almost.
Yeah.
Okay, stay 6 feet away from me. Wear this mask. I can't really see you. I can't get close to you. And when you're in a church setting, what do you want to do? You want to hug everybody. You want to pray for them. You want to lay hands on them and just do the God family stuff.
Yeah.
And now there's this, okay, you got to stay 6 feet away from me. And, it's almost like you can't show the love that you want to.
Right.
And that's so important. And I don't know, just really, I kind of saw a little bit of that Sunday. Not that people didn't love everybody, but it's like, arms distance,
Right,
so,
right.
Rubbing elbows or whatever. I'm like, come here and give me a hug, man. I don't want to do that. So anyway, yeah.
Yeah. I have 2 stories that processing. Number one is just making sure that we continue to preach the gospel or share Christ with people.
Yeah.
I think my temptation is, as we're getting back to church, to go back to the monotony of people pleasing or just the negative side of the church, the organizational things. Like for example, we had the first person I talked to on church Sunday morning when I walked in complained about something. Literally the first person. I'm walking in ready to go, hey, first person.
Yeah.
I was like, man, is this really, is this who we are? Is this, this is, in that moment. So I had to really not be bitter and not be frustrated in regards to that, because some people, I don't think they get it. and they aren't spiritually mature in that regards. And so number one, salvation. And here's what I want to say is back to last week was National Day of Prayer too, actually. Right. So National Day of Prayer for our country. At National Day of Prayer, and this will be a fully transparent story, okay? So National Day of Prayer, I go home and I put on my suit, okay? I put on my suit and put on my tie. I sent you that picture, didn't you remember that? Because I wanted to show you how much better looking I am than you. No, just kidding.
You look like one of the Blues Brothers, man. I'm like, wow, look at this guy.
Yeah.
So, now Rachel didn't make me wear it this year, but last year I remember she was like, you got to wear a suit. It's a net. And then I show up and like the mayor of Carthage has like, I don't know, like Walmart jeans and the flannel. I mean, he looked like a homeless man, basically. Hopefully our mayor of Carthage doesn't. Oh, no. That's why I'm going to be the mayor someday. So anyway, last year I had the suit on and everyone is I'm way overdressed than all the pastors that are praying. So I thought I'd just do it again this year. Last year I didn't have the tie on. This year I threw on the whole. And I just made, Pastor Perkins and all of them look like little small time pastors compared to me. No, just kidding. But you know what? I put on that suit and I walked up and I said, and here's what in my brain is like, okay, here's a nice little cute church, little prayer function. Going to be a bunch of religious people there. I'm going to walk up there. We're all our little liturgical prayer time. And now Pastor Greg is going to pray for families. And now Kelly is going to pray for police officers. And now, I had that in my brain. And so I'll go up there. And so I was praying for young people that day. So I just got up there and within a minute, maybe a minute or two, I just basically said, man, I'm so grateful to pray for young people today. I said, I was a senior in high school when I got saved and I heard the voice of God for the first time in my life. And I said, I don't know where you're at theologically, but I heard the voice of God. So you can say I didn't. You can say that's not realistic, but I heard the voice of God. And let me tell you exactly what God said. He said, Jeremiah, I have a plan and a purpose for your life. I want to do things in you that you've never dreamed or imagined, but I need you to make a choice. Boom. That's what he said. Exactly. Heard his voice. No problem. It wasn't like, what, Lord? The little whisper of God? I know you're not very loud, Jesus. Could you talk? Don't get me on that tangent. Like, I hate how we think the voice of God is soft and like he's puny and like he never really has the ability to speak loud enough for us to hear. Like we need a hearing aid to hear God or something like that. Just never mind. So anyway, I heard the voice of God and that changed my life and I made that choice in my life. That was my Jesus moment, 180 moment, etc. So anyway, then I just prayed. And so anyway, as I'm packing up my guitar and walking away, and there wasn't too many people left. I think you were gone already too. There was a guy named Esvin that walked up to me, 21-year-old young guy. And he's like, man, what you said there really touched my life. And I want to follow Jesus. I want to give my life to Jesus and I want to follow him.
Amen.
That's great.
And I was like, whoa, I thought this was just supposed to be a lame religious service where no one, but I'm just saying I felt convicted a little bit, that it was like, man, Jeremiah, don't ever forget that, throughout life, there's opportunities. And, all that young man was like, I don't really have a lot of purpose. I just walk around Carthage and I was just walking by here.
Wow. He wasn't even coming to the...
Yeah, he wasn't coming to the event. Yeah. He was just walking around.
You overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of your testimony. So I mean, that's how people get saved. When they hear people's testimonies, what has Jesus done for you? What has he done? You know what I mean?
Right.
And when basically that's what you did is you shared your testimony and it touched that kid.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Well, and I think that's why I'm excited about us getting back to church. I personally think that there has been a battle going on in the heavenlies during this entire COVID. I don't want to say debacle, but this COVID moment where we've been separated for almost 2 months now, and that war. I think religion is being broken. I think that the power of Satan is being broken, and I think that God is trying to get his people to listen. That's right. And to turn toward him, because we've made a religion. I mean, we've just been kind of doing church-and-ease stuff and
making people comfortable.
Yeah. And to tell you the truth, the gospel does confront. The gospel is good news, but it will confront your life, and we all need to be listening and following after him.
Yeah, I think we really need to have our ear to the ground and just know what God wants to do, because we're all praying for revival. We want revival. We want an awakening. Well, we're going to have to actually work with God on this.
Yeah.
Because He knows how to do it. You know what I'm saying? He knows how to get it done. And we might have to just change our services a little bit and not pray like, okay, Holy Spirit, we're out of here by 12. Okay, so you got to be done. No.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we need to throw the doors open on the building, but also spiritually too, and let Him come in and do what He wants to do, minister to the people that He wants to minister to.
Well, this past week I've been watching the Chosen, and I finally finished it, and where Jesus is coming onto the scene, the religious leaders of that day, they did not recognize Him as the Savior. They did, and what He was doing was things that they should have known. Hey, this is what the Messiah has come to do, but they had it all confused, and they, it was all about the law, all about different things going on, and He was trying to. If they would have been watching and paying attention and had an open heart, they would have recognized Him. Of
course.
And so I'm saying all that to say this: I think that during this COVID time, and now we're coming back, the church is starting to come back. We need to check ourselves, and the Lord is moving. I hope that we recognize it.
Yeah.
I hope that we follow Him.
Yes.
So
Amen.
I'll leave it at that.
And the second story I had is that, and I was mentioning this the other day in Wake Up Grace Point, is, I have to be careful of conversations and stories that I have, because I was joking. I was like, if you called me on the phone last night, Kelly, and poured out your heart and soul, and then I was like, oh man, this would be a great illustration tomorrow on Wake Up Grace Point. Hey, last night I was talking to this loser,
I had this guy call me,
and he's just walking through it.
I'm not going to mention any names.
Don't do that, So sometimes I got to be careful, because I'm like, I can't. But I was interacting with an individual the other day who is just trying to serve the Lord, and things are falling apart. But the point I'm making is that the power of the church. Basically, this is an individual that's not connected to the church, that is not connecting with believers, and you can't fight the battle that way. You can't, you can't. What happens with people is that they live life without God, and then they just want to run to Him for 2 seconds. And that magic wand, it just doesn't work that way.
Rescue me out of this.
Yeah. And so I think, again, that the church is just as vital and relevant as it's ever been.
Amen.
And for people that are needing to walk with the Lord, it's like, man, get in step, get connected to the body of Christ. And so to see this particular individual that's just crying out, and you don't want to say, I didn't want to just be like, well, read your Bible and pray and go to church type of answer, but seeing that this individual is not connected to any followers of Christ, which is the church. Not connected. Just I don't have a problem saying to the church. He's not connected to the church, meaning the people, not meaning relationships, meaning walking in step with people every single day or week throughout the week, not walking in step with that. And what does that produce? What is the aftermath of that? Is just utter disaster in relationships, in marriage, in children, in your workplace. And so it's just time for, again, to the church to arise in the midst of this circumstance and situation. And, again, we're not, don't have any sponsors that we have to worry about right now, but we're just saying, like, I think all of us are on the same page of, like, listen, one thing we've learned from COVID-19 too is we're not going to let the church be stopped anymore.
No.
That's right.
And that might lead to legal things someday, but we're going to say, no, the church is not going to be stopped. The church is going to do, and I don't just simply mean, church on Sunday morning at 10 a.m. That could mean our gatherings that hey, we're not going to stop gathering, because the aftermath of that is destructive. It'd be interesting, the overall spiritual lives of people right now, with COVID-19. People struggling, not having church. Some people are like, I've had more church than I've ever had in my life, from Facebook Live and all those kind of things.
The Church of Jesus Christ is the only hope the world has.
That's only right. Hope. Yeah.
That's
only
it.
hope.
And if we shut that down, the hope's gone.
Well, and the church is sometimes referred to as the sheep. The flock, and what does the wolves want to do? They want to separate you,
Right?
And then pick off the weak.
right.
They're looking for the ones that are sick, the ones that are more vulnerable, and that kind of thing. And that's who they pounce on.
Yep.
And when we're together, we're strong.
Yeah.
When
Right.
we're together, we're taking care of one another. We're praying for one another. We're helping one another, and that's where we need to be.
Amen.
Yeah.
Well said.
We need to be modern Christian dads.
We do need to be.
We need to be
Christian
modern
dads.
Christian dads that are radical, that want to follow Jesus. That's what it's about.
Leading our families.
Our families, our children, and in these times, in these moments, this is times where we can rise up, be superheroes, and do epic things for the name of Jesus. So
Amen.
see greater things. So we're the modern Christian dads. We're dudes talking news, sports, and most importantly, we talk God because we
Amen.
love Jesus, and that's who we are. So thanks for listening to this Grace Point Live. Go check out all of our other podcasts. Just search Modern Christian Dads Podcast. It's on Apple iTunes. It's on Stitcher. It's on Spotify. It's on all those places. I can't remember how many episodes we have
I don't
now.
know, but send us a message, guys. Really.
Send us a message, modernchristiandads
all over the world.
@gmail.com.
Yeah.
On our Facebook page, you can send us a DM us there. We've had a few of those, a couple of those, not a lot, but we'd love to connect more and more with you guys as we continue the MCD journey.
Sounds good.
All right.
Talk to you
guys next time. Yes.